back again. We back again.
my
We back
fault.
again. All good. Mine's got a weak thing, you know.
Trust me.
All that, but yeah, like, but it just changes, like, whatever. You just know, like, if you don't have a conversation with you during that time, yeah, it's not gonna happen.
Where do you reckon the most people who value their material things the most? Is there like a scenario where you've met them most? Is it clubbing? Is it
Materialistic things?
so you
Definitely
see
clubbing.
where someone judges your profession or what you say you do the most? Is there a certain scenario where you meet these kind of people?
I haven't had that, you know. I've never felt like that. Maybe like in a club sense, because they look at you like materialistically, in the sense of what you're wearing and stuff. They kind of judge you on that. But sometimes you don't need that, fam. Man can drip in flipping Primark t-shirts and H&M, bro.
Trust me.
Like, I know that dress definitely ain't from Balenciaga. That looks like a Pretty Little Thing type of thing. You've got a discount code for. Real talk. Real shit, bro.
It all depends on behind the kind of the confidence the person wearing it has.
Facts.
So one person could be wearing Moncler and all these kind of joints here.
Facts.
But
it is what it is, though. Like, you always gotta make sure, like, when you're talking to someone, like, or whatever, you just gotta make sure, like, yeah, if they're, that's what I always think, like, if they don't know how to have a conversation with you, yeah, it's definitely either, like, they're just like tapped, or like they are definitely not attracted to you. So yeah, you don't, like, if women do it, yeah, for like just to be nice or whatever, just be like, listen, I'm not really, yeah, just keep it moving, like, whatever, just be straightforward, just because if women sell more dreams sometimes in a club sense than men.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. And I'm trying to think, like, in like a club sense, like,
in a clubbing sense, you think about it, yeah. Obviously, we have to, like, approach them or whatever. But if you reciprocate, if you're believing my man, and reciprocating that energy as well, obviously we're selling the dreams mainly, but in the sense of, like, trying to see, like, what you're on about.
You see that whole thing there? That's why I don't enjoy clubbing like that. Like, clubbing I can do with, like, you just go out with your friends, you have a good time, cool. But when it gets to, like, the whole, do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Talking and, like, it just seems like too tactical, innit? It's just like, what? If I'm having to, like, change up my whole thing that much, it's like,
big man, you're moving like your MI5, bruv. Like,
you know what I'm saying?
James Bond thing, fam.
Yeah, literally.
That's basically it. But, like, I don't move to girls in a club like that.
Trust me.
Like,
neither do I.
Here, you've got the advantage, though.
Where?
The height, fam.
I'm not that tall, though.
Come on, fam.
I'm like, what? 6'2"?
Over 6 foot, you got the advantage, bruv. I've noticed that every fucking time.
Nah.
A lot of women love it, fam. Love it.
It's like, have you ever noticed shorter guys?
Yeah.
Are a bit more audacious with their kind of game, because they know, like, right, you know what? These gal rate the 6 foot thing. So boy, I may as well just be me.
Yeah.
Some of the most, like, the proper, like, compelling characters are man that are, like, below 6, like 5'8", 5'7", 5'6". I'm
involved in that shit.
Yeah, trust me, I'm not joking. Like,
come on.
Because I feel like some of the man that are, like, above 6 foot, it feels like I don't need to be, like, mingling like how these men are. So they just kick back kind of thing and, like, just do their thing. But trust me, the man, there's some real demons that are like 5'6", 5'7". Not a joke.
Did man say demons? I'm
demons,
dead.
fam.
Man said demons, bro.
Yeah.
I'm dead.
That man have got, like, some different kind of game to them.
But bro, like, I'm just there chilling, minding my own business or whatever. If I catch a wine, I catch a wine. Yeah. Like, usually bashment, I'm kind of moving around and seeing what I've got, and then, like, for real, if you see me in a bashment rave or, like, in a,
active, yeah?
I'm not active, but, like, I'm kind of looking a bit more in it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I'm looking a bit more and saying, what's the mandem saying? Mandem are usually just cotched, and I'm just there like, where's the gun fingers from earlier when Meek Mill was about? What one? Yeah. So now I'm just vibing more, chilling. If I catch a wine, I catch a wine. end up talking to someone, it's usually as well like when Afrobeats is on.
Yeah.
Like you're skanking, bruv. Like man's doing shaku shaku, bare besse, kicking to the floor and that, like mad. So I'm just trying to enjoy everything and just enjoy life, man. Like I don't really.
I prefer bars to clubs in all honesty.
Yeah, sometimes like I prefer day parties compared to like
Day
clubbing.
parties. Yeah.
Day parties are wavy, bruv.
I used to do a couple shifts at Motion when I had their day party, and their day back in like, when was it?
The summertime, innit?
Summertime kind of thing.
Yeah.
Boy, the vibe that people came with just to the bar when you're serving them was ridiculous. Like,
yeah, bro.
Much better than like because I did literally at the start of the day party to the end of the night event.
Shit.
So I'm starting like
that's peas. Though.
I'm turning up at like 11 o'clock. I'm leaving at like maybe 5 in the morning.
Shit.
Yeah, I only did it a couple times. It weren't like that mad, but boy, the shifts that were the most fun were definitely the daytime side of it.
Yeah. Because it's like
mad.
it's not as preppy or like it's just a bit more chill.
Trust me.
It's a bit more chill, man. Like that's why day parties are popping in London. Bare
Yeah.
brunches, yeah, bro. Brunches, everything, bruv. Like it's popping up there. Like summertime is such a good thing as well.
What sort of ones do you go to? Like what areas are you in when you're Shoreditch and all them?
Shoreditch. There's a few. Obviously, there's Shoreditch. There's
They're like Box Park's decent.
Box Park's decent. Obviously, it depends, you know.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's obviously like East got some popping stuff. Obviously when summers are going on, like Pitch, all them, man.
Okay.
Obviously there's still the Sunday events going on now.
Okay.
Like Sunday, like from 6 till like 12 or something like that. Like on the Sunday. So like people, like places like events like Lux Sundays, Trending Sundays as well. What else is there? Like Roller Vibe, Recess. What else is there? Like Jay's Link Up is another one. So many like good ones. Like Roller Vibe. Imagine Roller Vibe. You can skate around in that. Like I've seen some videos. I was like, "Rah, this is
During freshers,
vibe."
I think they must have had the thing at uni with the roller skating.
Yeah.
I must have tried. Do you know how many times I bust my ass doing the roller skating thing? I can never do that. You know what it is? It's where that one's there. No one's really watching like that. If I was like a proper club event and I was doing them same sort of skate, listen, that just wouldn't be
I'm
it.
cool because I used to skate like before I came to the UK anyway. Like just
Yeah.
skating around my apartment complex in the Emirates. So it's like I'm chilling, bro. Like I'm cool with it. Like ice skating, I'm cool with like or whatever. So I can roll around and stuff like that. It's calm with me. So it's always nice to see like people like just have fun. Like you kind of feel, you can kind of see people in there. In those type of events, you kind of see people like that willing to just have fun, and not be afraid to if they're like when you trip over and stuff like make fun of yourself to a degree.
Trust me,
It's
there's
so
a lot
nice.
of other events where it's just you just turn up.
Yeah,
I imagine
man.
everyone's just trying to
Trust
not
me.
put themselves out there too much. To try and
Trust
make
me,
themselves
bro.
look cool
Trust
and
me.
all that.
That's what I mean. Like I'm
That's
telling.
why I don't. In all honesty, that's why I don't like clubs like that. Still,
Yeah,
because
bro.
everyone's just like fronting.
Yeah, that's why
Yeah. I like fancy dress kind of events or whatever. So something just fun, innit? Do you know what I'm saying?
depends. If it's like if it's a shoes thing,
Mm.
sometimes you might have to, you know, pull up in all nines and that. You know what I mean? It depends on what type of event it is.
Yeah,
If
so
how elite are the babes are, and all
man
that
said
shit.
elite.
Yeah, you
One
can't
of the best events.
you can't be just dressing well, and the babes ain't in the same level.
Yeah, that's true.
You feel shit. Now I have to fucking not wear this fit again for the gram. You always think about that shit and stuff like all that stuff.
I'll wear the same.
I will wear it.
Ignorant
I
as
know-
hell, fam. I will post up the same outfit 4 or 5
I get
times on
you,
the
but
gram.
not a lot of people will think that though.
Really.
A lot of us man be like, oh, fam, I already put this fit out though. I won't show it in the gram like as a post for my feed. I'll put it on the stories. That's calm, but like just to post it, you know what I mean? With the all that shit. I've heard man them say that. I've heard Mandem say it.
That's crazy, man.
So that's why I'm saying, like, if it's a shoes thing, is it going to be an elite event? Is it going to be like where babes are? Or there's so many other things, but like that's why I like parties that don't have to dress up. Like you can wear trainers, you can still be fly, and that's so nice, bro. So nice. Like I'm still waiting for an event where for a party where I can roll up in a tracksuit. There are tracksuit parties, but I would like just a normal club night or something like that.
Well, you might hear that Pac-Man TV thing at the start of the song. Talk about tracksuit parties. Pac-Man TV. Yeah, it's long.
That tracksuit party. Tracksuit party.
The wrong party.
Trust me. Bare Nike Tech Fleece and that. JJB Sports thing.
Man, JJB.
You know them tracksuits there, you know. Them tracksuits there were
Did you vote?
Yeah, I voted, yeah. Labour. Yeah, you?
I didn't vote, bro.
Oh, come on, man.
I'm one of them guys still. I'm one of them guys.
Bro, I'm not even gonna lie. A few years ago, I was the same. But then, like, I just changed and said, like, if your vote, like, does change something, you have to, you know what I mean, put your voice out there. So that's why you vote.
I think non-voters have the largest category of people.
Yeah, I've just seen the statistics actually. I posted about it. About the recent election. So imagine, the BRX Brexit Party, over 639,000 voted for them. The Green Party, 800,006 and 800,600. Over 800,000 voted for them. Scottish National Party 1.2 million. Liberal Democrats 3 million, which is quite high.
That's very high.
Because obviously they put up the thing about legalizing weed and that. So yeah, people were trying to move you. Labour, 10 million.
10. Right, so the gap between Labour and Lib Dems is about 7 mil.
Yeah, 7 mil votes. Conservative got 13 million, so it was quite close.
Yeah.
Didn't vote, 15.6 million.
That's crazy stuff.
That's why it's a bit like crazy. Like how votes can change. Like now we have to wait and see if, like, obviously if people don't know, a general election just been happening. The Conservatives won again, and Boris Johnson's still the Prime Minister. There will be obviously changes throughout now that will affect the NHS, housing market, and so forth. Mainly, obviously, the young people voted for Labour just due to the fact of protecting the NHS, and that's my main concern, is protecting the NHS just for healthcare in general. Now there's a possibility for the NHS to be sold to the Americans during the trade talks or whatever, to Donald Trump, and we as people in general will have to pay for services of the NHS. So surgery, even A&E visits, like pop-ups, like appointments, we have to pay for, and so forth.
Do you not think that's Do you think all healthcare should be free though? Because if you think about it, is it not as unsustainable? So you think, like, so say in the same regard, you used to now walk into Tesco and be like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, this is free, man. Yeah, let me just take that.
It's tough to say. It's tough to say because, in the sense of, like, most of my family work in healthcare.
Yeah.
So I see it in a different light.
Yeah.
Maybe because the fact that I see that the NHS has been understaffed since I come to the UK. Very understaffed. Not private version, just the NHS in general.
Yeah.
Understaffed in general. Now, for that to happen, that we as people that needed the NHS, not the ones that can afford, or in a sense of like middle class, the ones that are in maybe benefits, people that only can pay for the roof over their heads, not much for food and so forth. Now, if anything happens, where are we going? Are we doing YouTube videos? Are we looking for YouTube videos? Or are we going to NHS? That's basically the thing now. Now they're gonna up the price of paracetamol. There's gonna be an effect to that. Aspirin, of ibuprofen, and other drugs as well that we use in a different sense, like for our own hangover instead of going to the thing. Like even food poisoning, like sometimes you will need to go to the A&E to get your to get the drips and stuff like that to get yourself in a healthier state instead of drinking water and taking tablets and trying to get the system out of you. So like through doing bare number twos and that. So it's like so many other effects. So that's my main concern. That's why I voted for Labour, just to protect the Brexit. I can't control that anymore.
Trust.
You can't, as people, we cannot control Brexit anymore. As young people, anyway, the older generation have made their stamp, and some are happy with it, some aren't.
Trust.
So, did you see the old woman that said, "Don't even mention Boris Johnson around me"? During an interview, bruv, that makes me laugh, bruv. The older woman is a fucking G.
She's funny. She used some funny term as well. What did she say?
I forgot.
I forgot what she said.
But she was just tired of it, bruv.
Someone mentioned that. Let me see.
She's tired of it, bro. And I was like, I rate this woman. Now, even some of the older people are saying, yeah, it was a mistake. But now they're cool with it. They're trying to just get this over and done with so we can move forward as a country.
That filthy piece of toe rag.
Yeah, filthy piece of toe rag.
That one,
that's a great one. But now we have to obviously move on from Brexit, just whatever. Now, for this to happen, there's a possibility of the NHS going. Like, some of us won't be able to afford it now. Like, what about the families that are struggling
already?
That are on benefits, not just on benefits, but there are ones that are homeless. What's gonna happen to them? The ones that are homeless. What about the ones that have families that work in NHS? Do they get it for free, or do they have some type of discount, or do they have to also pay as well?
That's interesting, actually, when you think about it.
Yeah.
I think if you do work in the NHS and all that, there should be much.
That's why I backed Labour to a degree in the sense of for the NHS, just because of my family being involved in there. And also, if people don't realize, there are more ethnic minorities working for the NHS than any other ethnicity in any other like businesses and other stuff like that. If you think about it, most of the ones that come in as freshies to a degree or whatever are mainly working as nurses because of like work visas and stuff like that, and then they grow up to obviously their children be born here or moved here or stuff like that. So it's like,
what do you think of that narrative though, of like anyone who voted Conservative is racist? Do you think that's true? Do you think that if you voted Conservative,
I know someone that's voted Conservative.
Yeah. Do you think they're racist?
I don't think they're racist.
Do you know what I'm saying? I've seen a lot of stuff flying on Twitter and all that, Instagram, and like, they bring up that headline of like, what's it called? If you want an N-word for a neighbour, vote Labour or something.
Yeah.
I see that one there posted up.
I think
it was from like the 80s or something. It wasn't that long ago. It was like from like 30 something years ago.
Yeah.
And they're saying, because of this reason, if you vote Conservative, you are racist and stuff like that. I'm just thinking like, do you know what I mean? I feel like there's been a lot of bandwagoning over Brexit, a lot of bandwagoning over this election here. So like, because it's cool, because a lot of people do this certain way, or inclined this certain way, like you're seen as not cool or not in touch with things because you voted that way. But I think it's mad, like. But in the same regard, though, I think like me personally, if I voted, I would have voted Labour. I'm not gonna front.
Yeah. But
the same way though, it's like a lot of the things, like the way things are presented in a journalistic kind of sense. Yeah. It's like they're straying away from very black and white. This is what we stand by, and more like Jeremy Corbyn posing up with Stormzy. It's like, I see what you're trying to do. You're trying to touch with the younger generation, but this whole like touching in with grime people and that ain't gonna make me vote for you. you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're gonna come in and make some impactful things outside of my music interest. You get me?
Yeah.
So why am I now gonna vote for you just because you're posing up with someone I like in a music sense?
I think.
You get me?
Yeah, I think I hear what you're saying though, because you can't influence. I think that's what those the government things that actually are in the Labour Party for us to unite the youth or help the youth. We have to stand by the people that have more influence than us, not through the politics sense, but in a entertainment sense. Like, that's why a lot of people thought like standing with Stormzy, Krypton Conan, and various other things that are basically on top of the, as the normal white person would say, the urban culture. Yeah. Because to a degree, the urban culture is the best culture right now.
Influential.
So the most influential towards young people in general. Yeah. Like, if you think about it, when you roll around, walking around or whatever, and you see young people, bruv, what do they usually talk like? What do they usually dress like? What do they?
Oh, I'm just bait kind of.
Yeah.
So whatever they see on I'm just bait, they're gonna.
Yeah, they are dressing like what the urban culture is saying. Yeah. So, like, remember, like, not in a pop culture sense, but in a music sense, when Rihanna started popping, when she had the red hair thing. How many girls in your school was doing the red hair thing, bruv? No, that's impactful, fam. Same with the whole shaved hair thing, bruv. Shaved hair size when she did that. Same thing. So that's why I think, like, even the way we dress to a degree, man's dressed up like you're from Wu-Tang, bruv.
I was listening to Wu-Tang on the
This
way
is
here,
what I mean. I'm dressing like a proper, like, just tracksuit man with whatever. What does that come from? Flipping Skepta or whatever. It's just a little. I'm describing. I'm not generalizing or anything. What we dress, but like, it does have a certain influence for us. So that's why they want to tap into it. Trust. Or whatever. Like, an example. I don't know if it's a good example anyway, but DEE and the IKEA advert.
That was.
Fam, now that every flipping youth is gonna look at that, yo, who's DEE? Oh, is this guy doing research and that, like, whatever, like, knowledge of grime is not that well, but now they're gonna look at grime, like, they're bringing in the youth, as we said. So I think that's what the Labour Party tried to do. But in the terms of as you asked, like, racism and conservative, not everyone's racism. Not everything is about racism, but I think it's all about classism. Money. Like, I saw a video earlier today. Generational wealth. Like, everyone wants to stay rich and conservative. Like, you could tell. There's a video that says, like, I don't know how long it was ago, about Starbucks not paying their taxes, not paying that much tax, or Apple wasn't paying that much tax in the UK. I was like 0.005% of tax. Like, that's how much they were paying. I don't know if it was Starbucks or whatever, but these men are making 13 billion or something like that. Like, as an example, again, Sports Direct, the guy who owns Sports Direct, man's making 10 billion, 13 billion or whatever. I forgot the actual number, but man's putting everyone's workers in 0-hour contracts and that.
Yeah, sticky.
So I'm not surprised that conservative want to keep their money. Like, you know what I mean?
Do you think it's like an age thing though? Because I think, like, when you look at the age brackets, you look at, like, the earliest ages. It's like 18, right? The youngest age you can vote.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 18 to like 21 or something like that. In terms of Labour, that's the highest. So left wing kind of things. Yeah. When you then flip that to 60 to, is it 69 or something like that?
I think it's
whatever
over
age it is, then
40-ish, yeah.
Yeah, then you start hitting conservatory. You know what it is? I've been watching that Swarms thing. So man just said conservatory like an idiot. I said conservatory like an idiot.
Listen, Swarms,
I've been spinning that all day.
Oh yeah, conservatory. If you vote conservatory, yeah.
You vote conservatory. Hey, nah. You drew me out there still. Anyway, we move. But yeah, you see, like, the age brackets there. It makes me think, like, so when you're young, what is, like, you try and get into the psychology of what a young person's like, yeah. So more time, they're not going to be earning big money. They're not establishing a career. they probably haven't started like a family like that. They ain't really thought about them kind of things. Just coming of age in general. You're young. You're 18. What do you know about the world at 18 that you know at 50? That's two completely different. You're gonna be two different people.
Yeah.
From 18 to like 50 or whatever. So I'm thinking like, rah. So you haven't got a lot of money. You're trying to get onto property ladders. You're trying to get into careers and stuff like that. So you're thinking, help me.
Yeah.
Help me. You want some help from the state or whatever. So that's making you think, cool, you're going to be more aligned to the left. But when you've now established that money now, and you're like, okay, cool, I'm establishing my career. I own a home. I've got a family. I've got all this. And then you go, rah, so you're trying to raise taxes on me after I've worked so hard to get here after so many years. Nah, you can't do that. So does that make me think, is it a racist thing or is it more, as you're saying, I think it's more class, as you just said.
I think it's class.
I don't think it's a race. Obviously, with class comes race.
Yeah.
Because then it goes, okay, cool. Within certain classes, because of things like, Windrush generation, slavery,
we still are
you're
kind
more
of
likely to see maybe non-white ethnicities in the lower classes.
Yeah.
So that makes sense to me. But is it solely race? I don't think it's. Not as much as social media will have you think it is in the lead up to the election.
I think as you said, social media. I think social media has an impact of that as well. I think social media shows that it's just racism. There are people that are trying to show that it's actually classism well. So, but more of the time, you will actually see more shit about race. It's like I don't know. This is what I'm seeing, but
social media would have had you believe that Labour would have won the election.
Yeah,
you know,
that's what I thought as well.
You know what really hits home is that the fact that social media and real life are two very different things.
So different.
You know what I'm saying? It's like
so different.
Because a lot of things are just post up for humor. Like, what's the thing that I see recently? Like someone post up about a JD thing about black Air Force Ones are like best selling at the moment. Obviously implying about writing and all that. And then people quote you like, what are we actually writing? Like people are joking. So like the same way. And there was one video I saw of someone saying, fuck Boris Johnson.
Yeah.
And it's like some mad video of like people against police. I don't know if it's a real video or if someone just posted it up as like a thing. But like, I feel social media and what people want to portray on there and actual real life, what people are willing to do, the real activism they're trying to do. Yeah. It's two very different things.
Very different things. You know in social media right now, there are some ethnic people that are supporting conservative. Yeah. But they're like, they're judging. They're judging.
Yeah, they're calling like, you're a coon.
Coon, yeah.
I think that's bad, like.
The word coon alone is like really like, I've learned this as of recently anyway that it's a very bad anti-black term.
It's bad.
Anti-black term.
I feel like personally, if you've taken your time to research what you want to see implemented,
that's
in
the
this
main
country,
thing.
And if you've come to, as much as I may not agree with UKIP, whatever, but if you've done your due diligence on what you deem to be right in this country, and you go UKIP, you go Lib Dem, you go Conservative or Labour. If you've done your research and you know what I'm saying? If you've landed your way there, I think cool. That's a relative reflection of where this country should be. Because not everyone, if everyone thought the way I did, and do you know what I'm saying? Things may not function the way they should be.
A lot of
that's a really bad bias to have that self-awareness where like
facts.
Because I think a certain way everyone should think my way, and if you don't think that way, you're a racist, you're this, you're that. I don't think that's a very positive way. As much as we do see the articles of like this, that, and whatever, do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just sticky, man.
Yeah,
it's very sticky. I think what's more dangerous than someone voting Conservative than someone voting Labour or whatever is someone that does no research, just sees something
know
on
anything.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Doesn't know anything about what's going on in the country. How does it affect us and stuff like that? Exactly. Don't be tweeting about politics if you don't know anything at all that doesn't affect you.
Do you know what I'm saying?
It's like,
and the worst one is you can know you don't know anything, but you've taken no steps to try and research it. You've just seen your 5 friends tweet something funny about if you vote Conservative, blah blah blah, this funny tweet, that funny tweet, and that's your only thing. So the same people that go, oh yeah, cool, you know, old people shouldn't vote. You know, they're impacting our lives. They're not even going to be alive in the next 20 years
Facts.
to see it. You haven't done the due diligence to even know what's going to happen in the next 5 years or whatever, 10 years, whatever. You're just going off humor, like social media.
But
do you know what I
it's
mean?
the same. It's the same with like in the pop culture sense.
Yeah.
Like when something drops like a breaking news or so forth, people are straight away just to read that headline and tweet about it and not see, and as I said, read articles, actually do real research. Like so, I've been a mistake of that at the time at certain times as well, like me not doing my research as much, or just when I see the headline and react.
Man. It's rife.
Yeah.
Some people, you know what it is? There's a book by Nick Davies called Flat Earth News, and the whole thing ain't about obviously the theory of flat Earth stuff, but he's more talking upon how
Moving like Kyrie Irving and that.
it's more like about how the spread of information, and he done a whole study in there, only of the most prestigious newspapers, so staying away from tabloids like the Sun and all that. He's taken the Guardian. He's taken like the ones that are supposed to be certified in their whole information retelling and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And he saw like the amount of papers that are just taking stuff straight from the press release, and I'm not even spell checking the words. They're just taking it straight from press release to paper. They're not even the people that are supposed to be, their responsibility is to give us the most, you know,
Detailed
unbiased kind of information.
Yeah.
They're not even spell checking the words, and they're just putting it straight back out there. So you think about, I'm just baiting these things, like the things that have millions of followers and all that. Do you know what I'm saying?
With those type of accounts, yeah, there are some of those guys that run those accounts, like I'm just bait, made you think, and like all that other stuff, like Shadeborough and Live in Social or something like that. I forgot the name, but they actually do research and kind of on when it comes to those newses and stuff like that, so that they make sure like they don't misquote anything incorrectly, because if they do,
definitely
they will get
made
pulled
you
up on
think.
it.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Because he'll definitely put something up and be like, cool. If this is true, then that's mad. But we'll see what are your thoughts on it.
Gives it
He gives the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah,
He plays devil's advocate in a lot of different
things. So
come up,
yeah. So it's like, it's whatever. Like as of recently as well, like people think you watched Love Island. Nah. One of the girls on there, the winner. One of the girls on there, the winner. Like she was caught lipsing up some other contestant's man or something like that. She apparently they got caught on Snapchat.
Her name?
Amber.
Okay,
I
know the name Amber.
The light skin one.
Okay.
So
yeah, I know.
one of the other contestants, one of the guy contestants that was on there, is in a relationship with another girl that was on the show. But Amber and him went to the club, and there's a footage of like a Snapchat of a guy recording the VIP and everywhere else and stuff. But there's a thing of like they could possibly lip sync in the VIP, innit? But my man's in a relationship with another chick. So apparently that guy got banned from the club, bruv. Got kicked out and got banned. That's what he said on the snap. That's what he typed on. So I said, raw. This just came out today. But I was like, raw, like, that's a bit mad.
It is.
That's a bit mad. So, but yeah, as we said, we don't know the research, but a lot of people be like, just see that and be like, so what, he's cheating already, and
you relate that to a politics sense.
Yeah, politics sense, imagine like,
you
not reading
put your
anything.
certain if I want to discredit you, like you put your 5 sort of changes of policies you want to put in place. 4 of them could be solid. I could even agree with them, but because I want to slight you, you might have one that just isn't worded correctly.
And I
just hone in on that. It's like, look at this guy. Look what he's saying. Blah, blah, blah. I blow it up to be something it's not. And then I'm running that back to my group. Yeah, vote for me, not for him. And that's what I saw. You know what it is? It just didn't come. None of the information came across genuine at the end.
I hear you.
And you know what it is? My decision didn't come from ignorance. Yeah, it's not like, I don't give a fuck about politics. Blah, blah, blah. It came from a sense of, I've looked at both sides. and I literally I don't know. Like, I'm not gonna make a decision off a half baked decision that's gonna, like, do you know what I'm saying?
You weren't sure yourself.
Do you get me? And I did a lot of research myself. Like, I taken it back to the core. I went on YouTube videos and went, what is UK politics in itself? What are the parties? The history of how they came about, what they represent, what that looks like today. Not that I'm the most well versed in politics, but just for a basic understanding of certain things. And I'm just like, you know what? I still don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because as much as I do like Labour, I feel like, you know, people say, oh yeah, it's completely funded, blah blah blah. It's just like, but on by whose standards? Do you get me? Because I do believe, you know, healthcare, certain things should be a basic human right, that you should have access to that for free. Everyone should have access to it or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, but the same way, I come at things from a business perspective as well. So it's like, right, how are these things funded? And if they're not funded well, and if it's basically like a charity kind of sense, that's unsustainable. Do you know what I mean? It's sticky still. But if I did vote, I definitely would have voted Labour though. Definitely.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Like, because you're putting itself in there. Like, one of you, your first side is like literally human rights in general.
Yeah.
Like, across the board, what affects us as human beings in general.
Yeah.
But the other side, which is the other side of the coin, is like business, finances, and operations, and how is this happening?
Yeah. It's the deliverables of those big dreams.
Yeah.
It's like taking those big things of like, okay, we want to provide this service to these people.
Facts.
The bridges, how do we do it? And if you just tell me, yeah, we're gonna just raise taxes, we're gonna do this, it's just like, you know what I'm saying? Has it worked already? Because, do you know what I'm saying? I don't think there's ever been a point in like the past, like, do you know what I'm saying? The past sort of 10 years or whatever, where someone can sit down to me and say, okay, cool, this strategy's worked, or this strategy hasn't worked. It's been like a kind of a mixture. It's like some strategies have worked a bit better at something than other ones. Like, but for the most part, it's like there's still a big grey area with a lot of things that are going on at the moment. And yeah, man,
it's just mad, bro. It's kind of mad, but at the same time, we just gotta keep at
I think you know what it is. You know what I said that was quite interesting. I think like an aspect of self-governance, in the sense of, okay, cool, why do we keep relying on the state or whatever to do things for us when we could be doing things for ourselves? At the end of the day, like, if we united, we probably have more influence if everyone, like non-government body, like the public, united together and done their own thing. We probably have way more influence in the government.
But we're trying to still do that for our communities first, before even in the government sense. Like, as we said, like finances, like not everything is free.
Trust me.
And we all know this.
Trust.
And the fact that we are still looking for ways, as human beings in general, we want more. We want more for ourselves. We want more for our families. So we want this type of thing, and a lot of people just go community, like support ourselves, like, or whatever. And yeah, like, I think when we support ourselves, not just a community in a racial sense, but a community in a generalized sense.
Because that's bigger than black.
Yeah,
white,
that's way
anything.
bigger than.
That's like, right, us lot are like, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Underprivileged and that.
Yeah.
We all come together. I don't care what your colour of your skin is. Or, do you know what I'm
we
saying?
struggle
We come
anyways.
together. Yeah.
Like, the perfect example of that is Grenfell.
Exactly.
No.
But why do people wait for disasters to then get behind people?
Yeah, bruv. Like, why are we waiting for other people to react when we could, like, we're supporting it ourselves? We know that it was the government's fault, and they're trying to hide it. That's why they're cutting costs on how to build certain things and like using materials they shouldn't be using. But at the same time, we have to pull up in the sense of when as you said, we want to make difference for like in the government.
Yeah.
Bruv, like, as we said, everything costs money. Every import, export, like China, as an example, as a little detail, like China, they don't allow anyone to export America, UK there. They don't. They're cool to exporting some of their stuff out of the country, That's still in the process, but like that's why they have that firewall. They don't allow Facebook in there. Facebook, Twitter, Google, Instagram is a maybe, I think, right there right now.
Yeah.
They had to create their own.
WeChat's huge over there, isn't it?
WeChat, fam. They created their own Instagram. The country itself made their own Instagram.
Mad.
And that's been going on from day.
You see what's interesting?
Mad.
In terms of a finance perspective and an information perspective, things are flowing one way.
Yeah.
So what does that say about exports? So exports means they're selling something outside. So money, US money, UK money, whatever money is coming into them. So when they're saying cool, as you're saying, if we're going off your argument there about they're not saying they're exporting things, they're not importing things now.
Yeah.
So that means the US dollar, like their goods or whatever, can't come back in these ways. Do you get me? So it's like what's it? There's a Jay-Z bar that relates to this. I'm pretty sure you know this one, yeah. Where it's like, or is it Nas? Someone says something about the black dollar, and it only stays in their hood a couple hours. And then the white people it stays.
No.
For days.
No.
You know the one I'm talking about.
No, it's not a verse, but someone has described it as well. He made a documentary. Killer Mike.
Exactly.
He did a document. He did a series on Netflix about it.
Yeah.
That was his first thing, like only spending money
within your area.
Only black owned businesses. Like he had to change his for literally like a week. I think it wasn't a week, but it was about a few days for him to go from his house all the way to a concert, like not spending on white businesses or anything like that, food and everything else. It has to be black owned restaurants, black people producing farmed foods, black networks.
Trust me.
Like an actual network, a person that made black person that made the phone.
Yeah.
Like travel, like so many other things.
Trust me.
That was what the first episode was about, and that's what you said. Only black people, like Asians, take it for a few more days than compared.
100%. You see who's got it sick. The most sick people I've seen in with my own eyes is the Jewish people in New York.
Bruv,
them
Jewish
are sick. They
bad
call
boy.
it. They call it.
They still get money off the.
Apologize for the slur, but they call it New York. Because there's a certain area you go past, the building, the ownership of the building, the business that's in it, and the people that are employed within the business itself, it's
Jewish.
all Jew owned. Everything.
Bro, you know that all Jews are still getting money from Germans because of what happened
to reparations. Is that what? Yeah, that's what it's called.
A lot of families are still getting money off these men. You know, it's mad. That's how they stay rich. A lot of these Jews are staying rich, bro, and they've smartly said support our community. So when they moved and everything else was like, well, let's make our own, like Chinatown. Another example, Chinatown. What's around Chinatown?
Do you think Tesco can go in the middle of Chinatown and buy up
Fuck
property?
no.
Of course they can.
Fuck no.
But where's the Wakanda? Where's there like a Wakanda in the UK? There's nothing.
Nothing right now.